All right, so I wanted to invite on the show Primetyme. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, ma'am.
So I wanted your input from a Black male's perspective. That mental health and suicide, all those things in line, is something that I feel is not talked about enough in the Black community, especially with our Black males. And this story really hit home for me. And I want to hear from you, from your perspective. What do you think about this whole story and everything? How does it make you feel?
Well, Trish, being a disabled vet and having to go through the situation myself, I could tell you that it's not easy, and you're not dealing with it 24/7, which allows people kind of a pocket to kind of, maybe they're not affected, but it really has nothing to do with that. Some people wear things differently,
Right.
which is also why you can't really get into like, well, I don't know why they would do that, or I don't know why they would feel this way, or, you know, different things like that. Because if you're not in their life, if you're not in their head to actually see and understand what's going on at that moment in time, it happens very quick when things go
Mhm.
left.
And that's where the disconnect is. Because I read that comment on social media where someone was like, I don't understand how people even get to the point of suicide when all they have to do is just go and get help. That's so selfish. That was the most
Yeah,
ignorant comment I had ever seen, and that just let me know how much people don't understand. It's not that simple.
exactly. Because I actually know from personal experience. And it's like in the moment, yeah, I'm still in because I'm a parent and I do love my children. In the moment, it's a battle because I ain't trying to leave my children hanging. But then it's at the same time in the moment, they grandparents here, they mother's still here. It necessarily doesn't have to do with why a person would do this. You know,
Hmm.
it's about what transpires in that person's life, or what has happened, what has went left in that person's mind. And in that moment, if there's no support, if there's like nobody in the presence or in their surroundings at that time to pull them out of that situation, it's a hell of a rabbit hole.
Why is it so hard for us as a culture to really hone in on that? Almost like as this is like an embarrassment.
Going back to just who we are as a people, before you get into America, it's just certain things when it comes to us in our culture where we understood certain things. We were eating properly. We were doing things that was healthy spiritually. You come down in where we're at now, it's like everything is fast paced. You don't even
Mhm.
have time to really sit, and keep it real with you. That's something, you almost got to force these days. When people say they're suicidal, it's nothing you can really take lightly, even if it's the boy that cried wolf,
Yeah.
because it's like one of those, it's like on your phone when somebody get kidnapped and you get that alert.
Mhm. Mhm.
And your phone just beep, 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 just the most irritating sound possible.
Yep.
It's that same kind of alert when somebody mentions things pertaining to suicide.
Right.
And whether, well, this person was okay yesterday, or whether, well, it seems like they have a decent life, or none of that mattered. That's why spiritually it's very important, to get in tune. It's very important to really learn how to love you, so you can also learn how to fight against you.
Yeah, because I've been in that position before where I was like in a really dark space and my mind kind of went to that, and it's really like a battle of your mind. That's all it is. It's a mental state, and that's how powerful our minds are. Just with our thoughts
Yeah.
alone can trigger good things or bad things. And for me, I've been there before and I know what that feels like. It's hard to just say immediately, go get help, talk to such and such. It's just a horrible state of mind to be in.
Yeah, that has to
So,
be there. It has to be like
yeah,
you would literally have, but when you go through this, it's not around people. So,
exactly. Behind closed doors.
mm-hmm.
And it's some of the happiest people, just like it was for him for Twitch. everybody said pretty much the same exact thing about him. He was a happy person. He danced all the time. He was like a life of the party, real good energy. And it's those types of people that you would never suspect, but it's it's called a mask. You can wear a mask. Nobody really has to know anything, and it really affects those that you never think would have thoughts like that.
because what you're doing is you're taking an element of him kind of, because based off his job, you're taking an
Yeah,
element of him doing his job and portraying it as
as who
he's
he is.
happy.
Exactly.
You portray him doing things to entertain you and to make you happy as well. He's happy too. It's like,
Exactly.
nah. Some people, in order to keep themselves going, they'll do things to make you happy
Right.
because making you happy makes them happy. You know
Feed
what I'm
off of your
saying?
energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the comedians. The same thing with what was the Robin Williams, I think it was, the one who played he played in so many movies, Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji. I think he also passed from suicide. And he was a comedian.
Robin Williams, yup.
And from the outside looking in, people was asking the same questions. I don't understand, he was so funny, yada yada. It was too far from their minds to even fathom a person like that with that type of personality, from what we think it is anyway, would do that.
When you have a beautiful heart, and you have a beautiful spirit, a lot of times, even when you're the light in a lot of darkness for other people, if you don't have the support for yourself, it's like you really have nothing to pull from for you. Even though you're able to be a light for them.
Right.
And I think that's the situation he was in, being in the industry that has a lot of questionable things going on within it, and him having the type of personality he had, it becomes a clash. But yet and
Mhm.
still, I'm not happy.
Right. So the question is like, how long do I smile, but I'm really not smiling? How long do I laugh, but I'm really not laughing? Like, at some point, it gets draining to be something that you really feel deep inside that you're not.
When you're being pulled, when
Yeah.
you're understand who you are, but you don't have enough support to help
Right.
you stand on that, and you're being pulled.